You know, I really tried to like My Little Pony.
My little pony, my little pony. My little pony.
I sat down and watched the first 3 episodes. Yeah. Then I sat down and watched the first 3 episodes of the second season. Meh. It just was not my cup of tea. The animation was nice and the voice actors did a wonderful job, but I just found the characters grating and the storylines were just so dull. So I tried it, moved on. That should be the end of the story. Or it would have been the end of the story, until my wife discovered it. Don't get me wrong, she's not going to go out and buy it on Blu-ray anytime soon, but being a fan of cartoons, when there's nothing else to watch, she has no problems putting it on and just turning her mind off. The problem is, I have to set it up for her online, and so, begrudgingly, I end up watching the same shows that she's watching while I'm doing my work. Having seen, on and off, most of the episodes of all 3 seasons, it's still boring. There are some genuine funny jokes in there, and sometimes there is a good story or two. But for the most part, it's dull and uninteresting, not to mention predictable. There were, however, 2 episodes which made me go from not caring about this series to hating it. Not only that, but after watching these 2 episodes, I can safely say without any problems, my children will never be watching this show. The 2 episodes in question hit very close to my heart. They were about business ethics and practices, and bullying. Now before the bronies start filling in the comment section and ripping me to pieces, hear me out. After I've given my case, if you think my argument is still complete bullcrap, please feel free to let me know why. But I sincerely believe, after hearing this, even the most hardcore fans won't be able to defend these episodes. So let's get on with the first one. This episode was so close to being good. It had all the right elements there. It was all about the old way versus the new way, technology versus handmade. In fact, it's meant to be a homage to John Henry versus the steam drill, which makes the end result that much more disappointing. So cider season is upon Ponyville, and apparently there is never enough cider to go around and ponies always miss out. Because they're always making it by hand, or by hoof, there is only a limited amount that can be made, and poor Rainbow Dash always misses out. Conversely, Pinkie Pie always seems to take more than enough for about 10 ponies. Bitch! Bitch! And of course, when they eventually do run out, every pony is predictably upset.
Sorry, every pony. That's it for today. Aww. Surprise, surprise! You ran out again!
Yeah, you always run out!
Enter the Flim Flam Brothers with their super speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 machine, and after a big song and dance number, convince all the ponies that they can create much more cider. This is all meant to be a bit of a parody, because Flim Flam actually means con, as in con artist, con job, all that sort of stuff. In fact, this whole big song and dance number is meant to be a bit of a joke or a piss take of the musical The Music Man, where a con man comes into town and convinces everyone about his wares. The problem is, the Flim Flam Brothers in this show, they're not con men. In fact, at no point do they offer something they can't deliver on. But I'll get to more on that a little bit later on. So the brothers attempt a deal. The Apple family provide the apples, they make it into cider, they get a 75-20 split. Because the apples need the money to keep afloat during the winter, they decline. So instead, the Flim Flams say they'll run the family out of business.
If you refuse our generous offer to be partners, then we'll just have to be competitors.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, no? Don't you worry, every pony. There'll be plenty of cider for all of you.
Once we drive Sweet Apple Makers out of business.
Okay, how? Without apples, you can't make cider with your machine. In fact, it's about as useful as having wings on a fish. But okay. The next day, when the Apple family ran out of cider, the Flim Flams come back with whole barrelfuls of the stuff, which Applejack quite rightly takes away from them because they were made from their apples.
You can't sell that cider. That's made from apple family apples.
Hang on, did the brothers steal the apples? That's stupid! And illegal. Well, I guess that's the end of the episode. They can't make cider.
Don't worry, every pony. There are plenty of apples in Equestria. We'll find some others and make more cider than all of Ponyville can drink.
Oh, okay then. Well, just go to the next town, come back tomorrow with barrels full of cider. That's it. Run them out of business.
We'll make more cider than you could ever imagine.
So the stupid child falls right into their trap, and they put forward a wager. Whoever makes the most cider gets to have the farm.
With our machine, we can make enough cider in 1 hour to satisfy this entire town.
We'll do it in 45 minutes.
The only one with a bit of common sense is Granny, until...
Easy, Apple Bloom, easy.
What's the matter, Granny Smith? Chicken?
What did you call me, Sonny?
If you're so confident in your cider, then what's the problem?
Tomorrow morning, right here.
But I'm afraid we haven't any apples.
You can use ourselves, Bill. It'll be worth it to teach y'all a thing or two about cider making.
Excellent! We have a bet. Whoever produces the most barrels in 1 hour wins the exclusive right to sell cider in Ponyville.
And after we beat you, I don't ever want to see you bamboozlers around here again.
Back to the Future did this. How did that turn out again every time he was coaxed by saying chicken?
Nobody calls me chicken. Nobody calls me chicken.
They are idiots. The whole situation could have been avoided. They had no apples. And if you want to go back to the original point where they could have just come back, well, I'm sorry, that's called competition. So the contest begins, and the winner will not only get the farm, but be the sole provider for the cider in Ponyville. Predictably, it goes as well as you would think.
Great job, y'all. We've already filled an entire barrel. I bet you those guys don't even have...
The Flim Flam brothers are kicking ass, and the poor apples, they just can't keep up. Until a My Little Pony team come to the rescue and ask if they can help them. Now the Flim Flam brothers got overconfident, and they allowed them to join in. If they hadn't, this story would be over. So the entire team start getting to work, and they actually start matching the Flim Flam brothers. So, of course, to make sure that they win the competition, they just let through every single bit. So apples, branches, rocks, everything, instead of the quality cider they were making beforehand.
Try something else!
I've got it, brother of mine.
Well done, Flam! We're at top of activity!
And you know what? In the end, they win.
Flim and Flam win! What? We lost?
That's right, the people who had a superior technology for creating a product won out over the handmade craft done by a small family business. Who would have guessed?
After all, this isn't Sweet Apple Acres anymore. How about Flim Flam Fields?
Congratulations to y'all. The cider business in Ponyville is yours.
Well, that will teach you to make stupid bets, won't it? In fact, this could be a PSA on the dangers of gambling.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com, because getting help is your best bet.
So the brothers won the farm, they won the monopoly on the cider business. This should be a perfect episode. It's not a perfect episode. So they serve the cider to the ponies, but of course, because a lot of the later barrels taste like crap, the ponies do not like it. So instead of opening up one of the original barrels, I'm just gonna let this play out.
I wouldn't pay 1 cent for this drip. You wouldn't pay even 1 cent?
No!
How about 2 cups for 1 cent?
No!
2 bits for the barrel?
No!
It looks like we've encountered a slight problem here in Ponyville.
No pony wants our product. Next town.
Next town. Let's go, Flam.
Let's go, Flam.
Let's go.
No, what you have just done is written yourself into a corner with an easy bullshit excuse so the main characters can keep the fun. Even if the ponies don't want cider anymore, it's not like you can make other things with apples, right? The land itself has got to be worth a hell of a lot. Hell, you could keep the Apple family on the farm as employees. But no, let's just run away for a nice, easy ending. I sure hope Applejack's learned something from all of this.
Dear Princess Celestia, I wanted to share my thoughts with you. I didn't learn anything. I was right all along. If you take your time to do things the right way, your work will speak for itself. Sure, I could tell you I learned something about how my friends are always there to help me, and I can count on them no matter what. But truth is, I knew that already too.
I'm so glad you didn't learn any of these lessons. You know, how dangerous gambling is, how pride can ruin a business, how it's okay to technically cheat if it looks like you're losing, how we should be afraid of new technology, and how relying on the stupidity of others will always get you out of trouble.
I hate all of you.
Yes, I'm so glad you didn't learn any of those lessons.
You are an idiot!
What's worse, the business practice is really bad. If you have a limited number of products and you know you'll run out, it's better to ensure every pony gets 1 pint to ensure you keep as many customers happy. You still make the same amount of money, but your customer service rating dramatically improves. No wonder Rainbow Dash was willing to jump ship at the turn of a hat. You forgot your most important asset, the customers! Ponies are stupid. I need a break to compose myself. We'll be back after a message from these sponsors.
Twilight Sparkle's Pony Princess Celebration!
New Palace comes with exclusive Princess Twilight Sparkle Pony.
With Princess Twilight.
Palace includes more than 20 accessories, other ponies and playsets, each sold separately. Assembly required.
What the hell, My Little Pony? I can't even compose myself for 5 seconds without you trying to take over the advertisement for my show? Well, you can keep your damn AdSense money. I'm finishing this review, and trust me, I left the worst to last. In this episode, Applejack's cousin? Called Babs comes to Ponyville. Apple Bloom would like Babs to join their Cutie Mark Crusaders because they don't have a Cutie Mark yet.
Expand and you seem like the perfect candidate.
I do?
Side note, Cutie Mark Crusaders is possibly one of the worst names ever. And I'm a DJ. I hear some pretty bad names. So the group are trying to make her feel welcome until these assholes come along.
More like funny looking. What is that thing? A giant orange?
They start giving the Cutie Mark Crusaders a hard time. And lo and behold, Babs turns on them just like that.
Join their little club. What's it called? The Cutie Mark Crusaders.
More like the Cutie Mark Crybabies.
Hey! Ooh, big city attitude. I like it.
When they think about doing the sensible thing and telling an adult, she basically threatens them and makes them feel really bad for potentially being a snitch.
Tell Applejack.
You gonna tell Applejack what?
Well, you know,
What are you, a snitch?
Then we get a montage of Babs and the assholes tormenting the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Okay, I was bullied for most of my childhood. I understand the reluctance of telling an adult. You might tell someone and they might get reprimanded right then and there, but you still have to see them the next day at school. You still have to share your lunch with them. You still have to be around these people. Sometimes it gets too much. The taunts, the teasing, it's just, you can't handle it. And you need to tell an adult. And sometimes these bullies are so good, they make you feel bad for telling someone. They get to a point where you either need to eventually tell an adult or take matters into your own hands. Now, while I always encourage words to be the first option, sometimes punching someone in the face is an option. And that is what you need to remember. So Babs and the assholes take over their clubhouse, and Apple Bloom says they need to fight back.
We need to talk to Applejack. No! Rarity? No! Twilight? No! We need to fight back.
Good. So they booby-trap their float by cutting the brakes. Jesus! I thought I was dark. Look, it's not like anyone dies in Ponyville, or anyone would ever die in the show, so you know what? They're shenanigans, I'll allow it. The next day she says to Babs she can't ride in their float. And then promptly Babs bumps her out the way and takes over.
See you later, cutie mark crybabies.
So just to be clear, Babs so far has stolen their clubhouse, committed assault, committed theft, harassment, psychological torture, and destruction of property. And this whole time, the group have actively been trying to avoid her, and she has sought them out. So Babs, by stealing the float, you have nobody to blame for the following actions but yourself. But then Applejack comes over and says this.
Y'all, making Babs feel so special. You know, after all the heartache she's been having in Manhattan.
Heartache?
Well, I didn't say nothing because I didn't want her to feel singled out. But there's been some bullies back in Manhattan just been teasing her to pieces for her blank flank.
What?
Teased? Bullies?
Yep. She came out to the farm to get away from all her problems back home.
So that's why she jumped in when Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon started giving us a hard time.
She didn't want to be bullied like at home, so she decided to be a bully instead.
No! No, 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 no! No! This is not okay, show. Not okay. You are telling me that if someone is belittling you and bullying you and trying to oppress you, that instead of standing up for yourself, it's better just to join in, and that makes your actions okay. I wonder what else or who else did that sort of stuff. So what this is telling me is that if you stand up to a bully, you're a bully.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
So being the fucktards that they are, they decide that they need to help her, and they accidentally spring the trap on themselves.
Babs, we were trying to get you back for being a big bully.
But then Applejack told us about how you were being bullied back in Manhattan.
And we figured out you were just doing it to avoid getting picked on in Ponyville. But by then, we were the ones being bullies. And, oh, why does life have to be so ironic?
It's not irony, it's cause and effect. So they all become friends, and just as she's leaving, the assholes turn up. And how does she deal with them?
Hey, that's not how you talk to my friends.
Friends?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
Well, what if I do? What are you gonna do about it?
Tell your mothers about your bad attitudes.
Look, sometimes using your words can solve the problem. Hell, sometimes you might actually become friends afterwards. But some people, like these dicks, need a slap in the face. They need to understand that actions have consequences. They need to understand if you keep poking a bear and it eats you, it's your own damn fault. Once you've been hit in the face, it usually makes you reassess the actions that led up to that. Some people can be very slow learners. Trust me, I've dealt with enough of them. But in the end, if you hit someone because they're being an asshole to you, they get the message usually. And why the hell isn't Applejack standing up for them? They're clearly being assholes. You're an adult. Do something.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Look, I know what some of you are gonna say. It's just a kid's show. You know what else is a kid's show? Fucking Avatar. The animation is gorgeous, the voice actors are great, but it's the stories that make you invested in it. If you want to go into a different area and say, right, what's another show that's in the same age demographic for these kids? Well, how about Sesame Street? I've been watching Sesame Street for years. Both from the classic shows all the way up to what they're showing right now. And not once have I ever stood up in pure rage and yelled at the TV screen because of it. You know why? Because even Sesame Street understands that there are actions and consequences and that not everything is in black and white. There's grey sections. Hell, look at any cartoons that are on at the moment. Adventure Time, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. There's a lot of great shows out there which do a much better job than what this crap is showing. Now, do I hate Brodies? No. Do I hate people who like the show? No. Are you allowed to disagree with my opinions? Absolutely. But I know that if I let my kids watch these episodes, I would be messing them up majorly. Sure, us adults can watch the episode and see the flaws in the story and understand to take more from it. But children, and remember, this show is meant for young children, are just gonna absorb all this and think it's the norm. And so for those reasons, I hate My Little Pony. So what do you think? Do you think I've lost my marbles? Do you think I make a very good point? Are you a brony? Let me know in the comment section below. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to go watch Avatar again.